Benedict Baker is an unseen character within the Dead by Daylight universe. He is known for providing several lore bits and pieces, primarily through his journal, where he describes his encounters with the entity and its mechanics. Unlike Vigo, for whom we have received all kinds of information throughout the entirety of the game's history in the form of flavor text from different items, offerings and add-ons, Benedict Baker's quotes only appeared up to the release of Chapter 9 Shattered Bloodline, after which his comments stopped appearing for newer additions to the realm. So what exactly happened to him, and where is he now? Well, in order to answer these questions, we'll have to understand how Benedict Baker first came into contact with the supernatural. Benedict's Journal, September the 12th. I began my search in the summer of 1956 after hearing of the town of Weeks, a place that had an unusual number of missing person reports. America is filled with such towns. But what made this one more odd than some was that there had never been a report of a body found. Indeed, the number of open missing cases stood at a staggering 364, the last of which happened a mere 10 weeks ago. Thus I embark on my journey. Upon his arrival at Weeks, Benedict Baker instantly felt an uneasiness simply by looking at the town's decaying structures. In search of answers, he decided to visit another nearby town called Weatherfield. There he stumbled upon a library where he quickly found some information regarding the area. September 21st. Once a vast, prosperous and sprawling industrial area, Weeks suddenly became a ghost town, not through the lack of iron ore, but on account of a series of terrible disasters. Even the locals at Weatherfield were unwilling to share the secrets of what had truly happened there. After spending 2 days at the library, Benedict Baker gathered enough details to deduce that everything seemed like it led back to the Macmillan estate, a huge industry with a mine and foundry at the former heart of Weeks. Although he felt somewhat uneasy, as he was way out of his comfort zone at that point, Benedict decided that he would use the maps from the library and try to find and go to this place, since nobody was willing to take him there. Even the librarian refused to say anything in regard to it. Little did Baker know that this exact decision would cause him to end up somewhere else. September, date unknown. I cannot explain what happened today. I awoke to find myself in this strange place. I have no memory of how I came here. My last recollection was of leaving Weatherfield and beginning my journey towards the Macmillan estate. The last part I had to travel by foot. A seemingly never-ending fire burns next to me. I cannot even tell how long I lay asleep. This area of the woods seems to have no day or night, just an intolerable gloom. I am unsure what awaits me, but I will keep filling this journal. Maybe with a hope to warn others. What I just read to you was how Benedict Baker ended up in, you guessed it, the Entity's realm. In his subsequent journal entries, he shares his experiences from this ominous world. He identifies several aspects of the trials, including generators, the exit gates, meat hooks, chests, the basement, and even the entity itself. Fun fact, Benedict Baker was the one who gave the red stain its famous name. At one point, however, he decided to completely abandon his journal. The last entry, number 49, reads, I learn more and more, but my hope and sanity deplete faster and faster. What is to become of me? Have the killers started out at this campfire too? I bid this journal adieu. I must focus on staying alive. Since then, Benedict Baker also seems to have stopped referring quotes to newer editions of the Entity's realm, since as I stated at the start of the video, the last killer that he described seeing was the Spirit. So what happened to him? Well, there are several theories that seek to answer this question. One of them is that this character was simply an early version of the Observer, since the real-life timeline of when Benedict Baker disappeared from the game and when the Observer was introduced sort of weirdly line up. But some people seem to take this theory up a notch, so to say, by suggesting that Benedict Baker is actually the Observer himself. Now, is this true? Well, let's take a look at what we know. Both Benedict and the Observer seek knowledge. They want to find the truth of the Entity's realm, and already somewhat knew about the existence of this whole universe prior to their arrival in it. Despite these glaring similarities between the two characters, I personally doubt that they're the same person. If you've been playing Dead by Daylight for more than around 3 years, you may remember that at one point you could in fact see the observer sitting in his chair whenever you opened the archives. This had been the case ever since the archives were implemented in the game, but during the public test build for patch 5.7.0, attentive players noticed that the observer had mysteriously disappeared. Supposedly there had been a fight in the library, as the armchair was thrown to the ground and there were scratches and footprints all over the floor. Now, the developers have mentioned that Benedict Baker is in fact still a survivor in the entity's realm. So I reckon that it doesn't make sense for Benedict to be someone who is still regularly participating in the trials while being involved in all that jazz with the Observer's Tower. But honestly, I'm not quite sure myself. Let me know what you guys think about this down in the comments. Okay, so to recap, what did we learn today? Well, long story short, Benedict Baker was actively looking for the entity's realm and wanted to find out how to enter it and how it works. He eventually succeeded and is now trapped in the endless cycle of trials just like the other survivors. He keeps, or at least kept, a journal detailing his encounters with all kinds of things in the realm of the entity. Although not much is known about his current condition, the developers have confirmed that unlike Vigo, he is still somewhere out there surviving. I personally hope that behavior expands on existing lore in the future, since I've always loved when they do that. For instance, I found it really cool when Sable turned out to be a friend of Michaela. So yeah, I'm hoping that they do something similar to that with Benedict Baker, just because he has been left kind of neglected for several years now. Also, if any of you guys are interested in reading the rest of Benedict's journal entries, I have linked the DBD Wiki page in the description below. And this is where our story ends. Well, I guess that was it. We went through pretty much the whole story of Benedict Baker in Dead by Daylight. This is probably my first video that focuses more on the lore aspects of the game rather than its history, and so I apologize if it didn't turn out as well. Nonetheless, I hope you enjoyed the video and that you learned something new from it. If you did, then make sure to let me know by clicking the like button, and also I would be glad if you would consider subscribing as well. Anyways, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!